Look at that light behind me.
Jeans.
We are live. Thank you. I'm just
Happy
trying to
Monday.
position my shining lights here in my window, my boat,
Yes,
because
it's your spotlight, your built-in spotlight.
we are. I'm doing this from my boat, right? Every Monday we do this from our boat.
Yes, live
So
from your boat and
live from
from the
our boat, baby,
forest.
and from the forest. Yes. So this is Monday again, doing a live, and I'm very excited about the topic today because I've got lots of reasons, right? How not
10,
to fail in
10.
2022
Yes,
because
and how to survive
how to survive, right?
and
I
maybe
mean,
even
there's so
thrive,
many
right?
things. Yes, so we've forgotten about 2021. That might have been a bad idea, a bad little taste in our mouth. As I was
The
discussing
whole
my
year.
workshop this morning, it was just like everybody's complaining. 2020 was awesome. 2021, not so
Right.
good. And so, how we are going to get that little step up from those extra little things we can do to make our businesses thrive, not even just survive, but thrive, right? And they're really
That's true.
basic things. I'm not going to do anything magic, right? There's no magic bullet. This
There
is the
isn't?
first thing.
No?
No magic bullet, right? So,
I
first things
guess not.
first.
Yes. Who are you, Veronica Jeans?
Yes, exactly. I'm Veronica Jeans, a Shopify queen. And I'm a best selling author with my Shopify books. And you know what?
What?
You know, honey on Amazon?
Amazon.
Yes, honey. Honey will tell you on good deals on Amazon.
Yes.
Yeah, they are promoting my book as a bestseller. I just found out this
Really?
morning. Yes, isn't that
Oh my
exciting?
gosh.
I know,
Congratulations.
I know, right? It's one of Donna, the puzzle lady, said, "Hey, did you see this?" So very awesome, very awesome. Okay, so and
Congratulations.
who are you? So you introduce yourself because you're my sidekick.
Yes, I'm Tim Sohn. I'm a live stream producer, like it says right there.
Yes,
So if you need
exactly.
somebody to nudge you to come on live and to
Like
push all the
this.
buttons, you show up and I push all the
Yes,
buttons. That's what
yes.
I do.
And make comments and make sure that you are
Yes,
showing up everywhere, which is absolutely fabulous. So,
exactly.
what are we going to talk about today, Tim Son?
Today we're talking about 10 reasons your business might be failing and how to survive in 2022. And first of all, thank you everyone who's tuning in. We appreciate whether you're showing up live or on the replay. We appreciate you so much. And do you know what the first reason is, Veronica Jeans? Do you know the first reason your business might be failing? And how does this is like the longest title ever? And how to survive in 2022?
I know, right? I actually shortened it on my blog. I actually thought
Did
that this
you?
is a little bit long for somebody to search. Yes, I did.
I had
I
to take
did.
a breath in between.
I know, right? So, December, January's over, right? So everybody does
Yeah.
their goals and plans for January. Oh, this is what we're going to do this year, and it's comes February and it falls all through the cracks, and we start not following that plan. And this happens to a lot
Yes.
of people. There's some really amazing people that stick to their plan, but most of us, we tend to go, what are we doing again, and why are we doing this? So goals and a business plan. And everybody, when you talk
Yeah.
about a business plan, they go, I have to do a business plan. No, business plan is very simple. Is what are you selling, what are you going to do about it, how are you going to sell it, and where you're going to sell it, literally. And then find the people to buy it, right? Because you decide where to sell it, you got to find the people to buy it. That's your business plan, that's your strategy. And you got to have some goals, because if you don't have goals, I mean, if you don't have, say for instance, if you went on I have this great example this morning I thought about. When you go on a road trip, you don't
Yeah.
just off, you go on a road trip, you just get in the car and you go. You do some planning, right? I mean, it's
Really?
simple. Well, I will hope you
I
are,
guess.
otherwise
I guess you could.
otherwise you don't know where you're going, right? You don't know where you're going. You're just
That's true.
drifting around and you don't have a plan, and you might end up in New York instead of Florida.
That's
So
true.
you've got to have a plan, right? And I mean, so January is also the famous month for I'm going on a diet. I'm going to be fit this year. And so how are
Right.
you going to do that? And that's your goal and your plan that you have to have. If you don't have that, then how are you going to lose weight or get fit or do anything? So you've got to have a plan for your business. I can't understand how people don't do this for their business. Okay, Tim, you're going to tell me you have a plan, right?
Sure. Sure.
You do, actually. You do. You know, you've been thinking about it. You've been putting plans together. Yes. And
Yes.
you're deciding what you're going to do this year, right?
Yes.
So having a business plan is very, very important. And then if you know, if you have employees, they need to know what you're going to do this year. Otherwise, you know, you're just giving them stuff and they don't have a direction. So, and
right. And if you have a business plan, then it will probably give your employees more confidence also.
Yes,
right?
on knowing what to do, right? You can't hold everybody's hand. They have to take the initiative and go and do stuff. So yes, exactly.
Exactly. And then number 2, look what number 2 is.
Cash flow.
And you know who's here? Do you know who's here, Veronica?
No, Anita.
Look.
Yes.
Welcome, Anita.
From London. This is awesome.
Shout out to London.
Yes. So
Anita,
yes,
do you have a business plan? I know you have. You must have a business plan.
She is like a machine, baby. She knows exactly what she's doing. I love listening to her lives, and she knows exactly what she's doing, what she's promoting, and she is really, really consistently out there promoting her business. So cash flow, right? If we don't have cash flow, we can't really do anything because we can't even have a website if we don't have cash flow, because you've got to pay for your website, you've got to pay for your social, you've got to pay for somebody to produce your shows, right?
Right.
Yes. You've got to have cash flow. And a lot of small businesses jump into it and they go, yeah, I'm going to do this. And then they get stuck because they can't get somebody to help them. They don't have cash flow. So cash flow is really, probably should be number one. But again, you know, if you don't know what you're going to spend money on, that's when you have your goals and your plans, then you can't actually determine what your cash flow is going to be. And I mean, for instance, if we set up a website, an e-commerce store, for instance. Obviously, we're talking about e-commerce stores, right?
Right.
And we haven't planned for marketing, and marketing costs money.
Right.
I don't care if it's free on Facebook and Instagram. If you need to have some cash flow to pay for ads so you can attract customers to your website that are going to buy your stuff, cash flow.
Right.
Right. And
that's true. Organic only goes so far.
I mean, organic these days is probably less than 2% on social, right? Don't you agree?
Yikes.
Yes.
Yeah, it probably depends on the platform, right? And how much time you spend, but yeah.
Yes. And yeah. And what you're doing. Now, are you selling all the time? What are you doing, right? I mean, we're paying for the software to put the show on. It's just an example.
Right. Shout out to StreamYard.
Right.
Yes.
And you have to pay for software to push your content out. Maybe you need to have stuff on Amazon. You're paying a percentage. So there's everything that you're doing. You have to have some money that you can spend on tools. That's a good word, right? Tools and resources.
That's true. Or like if you were going to use something like copy.ai.
Right? Yes, exactly. I mean, that's just making your life easier. So you have your tools to make your life easier so you can spend more time to run your business.
Exactly.
Cheers on the milk.
Thank you. And let us know what you're eating or drinking right now. We want to know.
Exactly. Yes. So price products right. So here's an example of how not to price your products is putting your products out there and realizing that your competition, the prices are lower, and then start lowering your prices to compete with somebody else. And that's a serious no-no. So you got to price your products right. Otherwise, you're going to lose money. And so you've got to make sure that you have enough profit margin to have promotions. So this is my advice to e-commerce store owners normally, is put your prices up, then think of when you are going to give a deep discount that you still start making. I've just had steak and salad.
Thanks for sharing, Anita.
So when you're pricing your product out and you're creating these promotions at 15, 10% or whatever you're giving away, that you still have a margin that you can work with and not lose money on promotions, right? So don't lose money. You've got to price your product right. Yes, exactly.
Boom, baby.
Boom, right?
Yes, definitely.
And even when you have service products, right? People forget is how many hours are you taking to produce a course, for instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how many hours does it take you to produce that course? Now you're selling it for $27. Is it worth the money? Now,
Right.
how many times do you have to sell it to actually start making money? And when are you going to start paying yourself? So you got to think about your profit margins, your overheads, your product costs, and then as well as paying yourself. You know, how many times have I heard that somebody says, you know what, I haven't been paid for years. And I go, why are you in business? You're not paying yourself, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. And that comes when you're pricing your products, then you probably can pay yourself and go on a vacation. Make sure you pay yourself.
Ooh, a vacation, like to the Bahamas, right?
We're cruising to the Bahamas, baby. We're definitely cruising to the Bahamas. So yes, so I mean everything. I mean, we're in business to make money. Nobody said, "Hey, I'm going to start a business, and I don't want to make money."
Right.
Right. And so people are so reluctant to talk about pricing, so reluctant to talk about profits. It's like, and especially small businesses. Oh, you know, I have to charge more. Oh, you know, maybe I'll just go cheap and then cheaper. And that does not work because you got to really value what you're putting in. Right? We've had several of these conversations, right?
Yes. I've certainly had that opinion in the past, that perspective.
Yes.
And I'm getting better at it, but it's
giving
hard.
away something for free, you know? And nobody values free stuff. I've got to everybody's got to, you got to give something away and then you get something back. Nobody values all the free time you've given up to give them something for free. And I bet Anita will. Yes.
Boom, baby.
Exactly, right? Anita will agree with us.
Yes,
nobody values free stuff. So I have, just example, my books, I'm selling my books, right? And the one camp says, sell, get lots of reviews and give it away for free in the beginning. That didn't work, right? My advertising worked. I paid to get my books ranking higher on Amazon, not the free stuff. Nobody values free stuff. So, but what you can do is have a low cost item, right? And then upsell it to a higher cost item.
Right.
So they're still paying for it, but they will value it more.
Right. Yes.
Right?
Boom.
Boom, baby.
Yes. Number 4, do not spend money loaned.
Oh, yeah, that's a sad state of affairs. So here is, government was giving away money last year to small businesses, and I've seen it. People go, "Oh my gosh, no, I can get $25,000," and they get the money, and this money is sitting in their banks, and they go, you know what? I should take the family for a quick vacation. I'll make it back. Right? And maybe I need that new computer because really my old computer doesn't really work that well. And then you start spending the money that's not really yours and spending it on making it work for your business. And there are a lot of people that do that. I've had clients that, well, she wasn't actually a client, she was my sister. That they got this money in, and I go, that money is not yours. You can't buy a beautiful mattress just because you got that money in your bank. And when she started looking at what her costs were and what was really theirs, she was shocked, right? She was shocked. So always make sure that money is working for you instead of just going, oh, that money's in my bank, so maybe I can do something with it, right?
Right.
Because and the same with small businesses start off with, hey, I can use my credit card to start my business and I'll pay it back.
Right.
And it's easy to spend the money because it's not on your agenda to pay. So it gets more behind. Don't spend money you've loaned, because that money is costing you a percentage. It's not your money. It actually costs money to get money, right? There's no free money.
It costs money to get money.
Yes.
There's another one. Mic drop.
But true, right? So you're paying from a credit card is, I don't know, is it 12%, 30%? I have no idea. And so you got to think of that. You got to then think of, okay, so you got to sell if you're selling physical products, you're paying that 3% or whatever you're paying to actually sell, to get the money in. Then you are you're paying for the cost of the product, right? So that margin gets thinner and thinner and thinner. And the same thing with services. I've seen it happen. So it's happened to me, right? Where you think, I'm making this much money, and you say, oh, I send my invoices out because that's marvelous, and it's on a it goes out every month, and then you get 3% less. Ow, right? Ow, and that's not in your budget. So don't spend money and so it's very hard to actually put the money back into your account when you've actually spent the money. That's not yours.
Right.
Literally is not yours.
Literally. So do not spend money loaned, but do hire the right person.
Yes. Okay. Right? And so we're coming back to money again. So I owned a recruiting company, and I've seen this a lot of times. People jump in, hey, I can do this. I can hire that person for my business. And inexperienced business owners think they're hiring the right person for whatever they need to do. I would always suggest hiring a recruiting company to sift through everybody before they present somebody to you. That is the best money you'll ever spend for your business. And this is what I'm saying. So for instance, you're starting out and, oh, you know what? I can get my sister to come and help me, or my brother, or my cousin, right? I hear this so many times, right? Oh, they're going to come and work for me and I'll pay them under the table. It is all going to be so sweet. Then you have somebody coming to work for you and they go, my sister won't mind. I'll just come in late, or I'm on the phone, or I need to talk to my friend, right? And that relationship suffers because now you have to tell, I keep harping on a sister, but now you have to tell your sister, hey, bloody hell, I'm paying you. What are you doing, right? And it's hard enough to tell people that you actually have in your company to come on, and family. And so how are you going to fire them if they're not working out? That is the hardest thing.
That is hard.
And including friends, right? Including friends.
Yeah.
So I got to think really, really hard before you get involved with family. I've had my best friend in my business when I had my recruiting company. Was the best decision I ever made, because she was my backbone. She was my nagger, right? And she got me organized, and she was amazing. I really, really lucked out. That doesn't happen normally, right? So you got to have your rules and regulations in place to say, okay, this is a place of business. We are not friends here. I'm the boss. So if you can't handle that, don't employ them. And you've got to be honest with people, right up front. And so, for instance, if you're going to hire somebody, and I could talk about this actually all day. If you're going to hire somebody and you go, they're going to be amazing. They really, I like what they look like. They talk, they're telling me the right thing, and then I hire them, and then, you didn't know they were getting a divorce, or, this is the best one I had in one of my recruiting things. It was Facebook was just starting, LinkedIn was starting, we were finding people on LinkedIn. We found this guy did erotic sculptures on Yahoo. I think it was Yahoo.
On Yahoo.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Yahoo.
Yahoo. Yes.
And my girls, my recruiting girls, were trying to explode the image so they could see more. But but I could not say to my client, hey, and they're very clean-cut clients, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't say to them, hey, you got to hire this guy, right? He's going to be a really perfect fit for your business. And that's what recruiting companies do.
Yeah.
They call the employers. They know what the tell is. If you call somebody and you go, okay, has this person worked for you, and how did they really work out?
Yeah.
Because sometimes the employers are actually friends that are promoting them, so you don't really know.
Right.
And it costs you money because you have to onboard them, you're paying them. They are costing you money if they are not working properly because you're paying them per hour and they're not doing their job. So it's literally costing your people your company money. And that's what people don't realize is the cost of hiring a person and the right person. Actually, I'll shut up now.
Yes, thank you. I mean, don't thank you for hiring, but let us know, those of you who are watching, do you have any stories of hiring the wrong people or the right people, especially the wrong people? We want to hear stories of you hiring the wrong people because those would be more entertaining. So let us know.
Yes. So here is remember Donna?
Donna, is
Donna,
this the puzzle lady?
Yes.
Yes. How could I forget?
So she had this she started with a little retail store, one of I think I'm going to do a retail store in this little village, right? A little tourist village. And so she had to set everything up, the POS system, and then hiring people to man the actual counters. And this one lady was somebody, an acquaintance. I think this was the acquaintance. I'm not sure. But anyway, somebody she knew, she hired. And so it was part of the village, right? And she comes from a very small village. This lady was stealing money from the cash register, not actually putting her hand in it, but saying, making a sale and then voiding the sale and taking that money cash and putting it in her pocket. Ooh. She lost nearly $6,000. And for a small business, that is huge, right?
Yeah.
And that's how it happened. She literally, and then so the other costs were just not, and I think the money was like maybe $3,000, but it was a substantial amount. The other costs were then she had to put up cameras and pay for the cameras, and then also, and then start monitoring to see what was actually happening. And that's how she discovered what was happening. So that was an extra cost for her, right?
The cameras,
setting them up, having somebody set it up for her. So they can be really expensive little, I think, lessons.
That's true.
Yes, if you don't hire the right, it's such a huge thing to hire the right person that can actually sell for you, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody can sell, right? Not everybody can sell either.
Not everybody can sell. And speaking of money, number 6 is remember to pay your taxes.
Well, okay.
Because everybody loves taxes.
This is not income tax, right?
Not, okay.
No.
Tell us, what are you talking about here?
I'm talking about sales tax.
Oh, sales tax, yeah.
So when you have and even some services has sales tax, right? It depends on your state and your country. So you got to know the rules, whether you owe VAT, sales tax, GST, whatever it's called, on your services and your products. So if you are, in most countries it's the same, right? In states and in the United States as well, is where you're doing business, like I'm paying sales tax for products that I'm selling in Texas.
Okay.
Right? But if I have somebody sending my products out in Ohio, I have to pay Ohio sales tax as well. Did you know that?
But how do we find out what we need to pay? Is it by state?
So that's by state, yes, as well. So if you are so what's happened is the states have realized that they're losing money. If everybody's selling, but they're selling to other states, so they're losing revenue, right? Because sales tax is not coming in. Retailers are selling online; they're not charging for the sales tax on the products. So I would say all states are losing money. So what happened is there was a whole brouhaha about the whole thing, and they then decide that every state is going to start charging. If you have an e-commerce store, you are liable for sales tax. So that sounds very scary. Yes, but there is a limit, right? So if you are selling, for instance, every state is different, and they're trying to get it all the same. If you're selling, where are you from?
Pennsylvania. Hello.
Pennsylvania. I keep forgetting where you're from, right? If you're in Pennsylvania, right, and you are, and some states don't charge, but if you're in Pennsylvania, I was going to say something about sales tax. Okay,
we do have
if you're in Pennsylvania and you were selling to California, but the limit in California is you have to sell $100,000 before you have to charge sales tax. So you got to know for every single state how much you are selling and what you are liable for, and then you have to get, a permit, and then you have to pay the sales tax. And don't mess around with it. The $1 or $2 that you think they won't notice, they might just notice, and you can get into deep trouble for it.
So you have to know for each state, like as an e-commerce business, you have to know because it's different for each state.
Yes.
That sounds like a pain in the arse.
Yes, it is. Thank you for saying that.
You're welcome.
And it is, right? It is. So
yeah.
And this is the whole thing: is normal accountants do not know what to do. You have to literally talk to a sales tax accountant or an expert.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, because if you go to an accountant and go, where do I pay sales tax? They go, we don't know. We have to look it up, right? They're just income tax accountants.
Yes.
So yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. And also, besides paying your taxes, that'd be stupid not to pay your taxes. Have you done your taxes for this year?
Not yet. Have you?
Oh, I've done it. I'm
You're
about
done?
to. Oh, I'm
envious.
I'm going to shoot it in soon.
Nice. Number 7. Is everybody ready for number 7? Let's do a drum roll, Veronica Jeans. Old-fashioned style. Who needs technology?
Yes. Talk about what you do, right?
Yes.
Tell your story. And we come back to the cash flow and the plan, everything that we've mentioned before. It should be part of your plan, should be part of your cash flow, should be part of your, what else is there? Profits, right? Because if you don't start talking to people and telling them what you do, how are they going to know you're around? And yes, Anita submitted her taxes. Yes, baby. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Anita says she does have the UK tax form for YouTube. So the cool part about selling stuff on e-commerce, for instance, Amazon, I think Etsy, eBay, they pay your taxes for you. So everybody that buys from you has to pay taxes wherever they are, because, for instance, Amazon has a warehouse in every state. So their nexus, their business is in every state. So you're paying taxes, but you don't have to worry about it because they are actually doing it for you, which is a really, really cool part. Yes. Follow your gut.
Very cool.
Yeah, let's go back to talking about your business. Talk about your business. Yes. So the queen of talking about her business, besides me, is Miss Anita Wong, because she talks about her business all the time. She's doing videos. She's telling people what she's selling, and she's telling people, hey, I'm doing this. Come and join me. Come and buy this. She is literally like a machine. It's amazing. And that's the only way to do it. Because, the more I talk online about my books, my sales are improving. And I am doing Amazon ads, but I'm also doing extra stuff that consistently, like showing up on Mondays, cheers on the milk there. And so
yes, with producers who drink milk while
yes.
on live video. Yes.
And so consistently doing things, so you're out there, you've got to tell your story. What are you doing? Why are you doing it?
100%. And then you have to follow your gut while you're telling your story.
Yeah, well, no.
Or does that come later?
That comes really,
or before?
okay, that comes, or just part of it. I just stuck it in there because I think it's an important, very, very important. We were talking about gut feelings and how your brain connects with your gut, and that's why we call it gut feelings. I actually told my mom about it. And so if you feel that this is not the right way or the right business that you're doing, you need to listen to yourself because you know yourself the best, right? So Tim, I mean, you were saying, I don't want to do social media anymore. It's getting more difficult. I'm really not, and you followed your gut feeling to say, I need to change what I'm doing. And what it comes with a pivot in your business, right? I need to change what I'm doing and what am I going to do next? Mm-hmm. So, so when I went into business, good example, okay? I went into business with my recruiting company. I knew I shouldn't have partnered up with the guy that I did.
Okay.
My gut feeling said, bad idea. But my brain was going, oh gosh, this is so awesome. Let's do it. Yeah. You're right. And it went bad. Took me a while. But it did go bad. That gut feeling was right. And throughout running that business, I kept saying, this is not right. I need to get out. I was blessed. I had a most amazing guy that helped me to crash the company and get out of it because my name was on everything. I mean, really bad situation, right? But again, if I'd listened to my gut, I wouldn't have stepped into it. And unfortunately, our gut sometimes gets overwhelmed by our brain. This goes, our responsibilities, I need to make money, maybe I should do this. I mean, I bet you've had a customer that you go, I shouldn't have taken this on. I shouldn't take this on, right? And you go, I'll do it because it's $500, right? I need the $500, right? My babies need shoes.
Yeah.
And it always turns to trash, right? So, and sometimes the way to actually stop that is to talk to somebody. If you have a partner, if you have, we talk all the time about stuff, right? If you have a little mastermind group, we were part of a mastermind group as well, which I'm hoping to revive. But, just having that group of insiders, maybe sometimes it's not your partner, right? Roy is totally risk-averse. He thinks everything I do is crazy.
Well, isn't it? I'm just kidding.
My whole life, yeah. So it's like, you're doing what? Wow. He thinks he's the most patient man in the whole world. But having somebody to talk it over with that is in business, not all of us can afford a coach, right?
Yeah. I recently hired a coach.
Oh, yes.
And I recently, somebody reached out to me about producing something, and I was all excited about it, and I was emailing my coach back and forth about this, and this person didn't want to pay me for all of my time. There's production time, but then there's time to prepare and to have conversations ahead of time, and they didn't value that time. Right. So I ended up not taking it. Whereas before I would have taken it because it's money, right? Like I need money, right?
Yes.
But I didn't take it. And afterwards she was like, how do you feel about that? And I was like, it was hard for me because before I would have been like, it's money. Sure. Bring it on. Right.
Yes.
But afterwards I was like, they didn't value my time. So I was like,
relieved.
Next.
It was a relief, right?
Yeah.
And the next one will come. We're in business. We attract business, right?
Exactly.
The next one will come.
Yeah.
So I've partnered up with my most fabulous daughter-in-law, Amanda.
Shout out to Amanda.
Shout out to Amanda.
Yeah.
And so we've decided to actually bounce the ideas off each other, right?
Good.
to say, hey, I've got this job. What do you think? And then I can use it as an excuse as well, right? So maybe have somebody as an excuse to say, my partner, my board of directors have decided we can't do this, right? So and also here's a tip as well, is step back, think about it. I will get back to you without saying yes immediately. And believe me, I'm the total enthusiast. I will jump into anything. Step back, think about it, let it roll around on a weekend, maybe even for a week, right? Don't jump into stuff because they'll bite you in the butt.
But at the same time, if you do that, then there's a chance that you might lose the client because somebody else might. But
I know, but it doesn't matter. Let them bite them in the butt, right? So it is very hard as a small business owner and especially service provider to say no rather than yes, right? And yes, I did a thing last year as well where I said, yeah, I'll do it. And oh my Lord, did it take time and effort. And what? I've got to do what? Hey, did you guys realize this is for free? Right? So that's that appreciation. If you give something away for free, they do not appreciate it. And you will be blamed if it doesn't work.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. Yes.
And also, here's the thing as well about gut feeling, right? My gut feeling about my books, I had to come back to my books, but
of course,
my gut feeling about my books was, first I had to write it, and then everybody says, oh, just think of it as a, advertising business card. And I thought, no, I think I'm going to see what I can do with this, right? My gut feeling said, hey, what if it sells, right? And so I'm having so much fun with proving them wrong. And my gut, I really did follow my gut on this, I must also say. Otherwise, I could have just left it up on Amazon and said, I'm going to do anything. I'm just going to wait for the speaking gigs to roll in, baby.
Yes.
That was the reason, right? So pivot at the right time. And we both can talk about this, right? Pivot at the right time. I've seen small businesses pivot in the e-commerce industry or not pivot. And being successful or not, right? So there is that, you got to know when. Interesting conversation again this morning, my workshop. I love my two ladies, Kelly from Parisian Pure Indulgence and Donna, my puzzle lady from the Missing Piece Puzzle Company. I'm giving them a shout out. Yes. So we had this conversation. I've met them 10 years ago.
Wow.
And so, literally what landed in my lap, I helped them out and they're still around. And so we were talking about starting e-commerce business 10 years ago was hard, right? Because it costs money. It's the same thing as now. You've got to be out there. What platform are you going to be on? What can you develop? How much time you have to develop it? And I've seen them pivot their business. Kaylee has rebranded twice, and she's seen the first the dip, right? But then it's going up, and Donna's grown as well. And last year was not such a good year. She's ready to get moving, but business goes up and down all the time. But I've seen them say, hey, there's lots more competition. What can I do differently in my business? It's hard to do it with products because Kelly's selling skincare products. So what else can she do, right?
Yeah.
But it's hard to have too many products as a small business, or to have, okay, so what can I do differently to attract attention, right? So we actually we're talking about this morning, but it's changed again, right? This whole COVID thing has changed how we do business. And so how can we do business differently and getting in more business? Because I mean, the two of us, I'm used to schmoozing, going to meetings, schmoozing, saying hey to people, hugging, kissing, and being the queen, right? And so now it's different because you have to show up online.
Yeah.
Right? You have to have one-on-one conversations, right? And so build that relationship. It's the same, but not the same. So pivoting and deciding what's important. So what did you do last year to pivot your business? This is epic.
Yeah, I went all in on live streaming. Before I
Yes,
was working with all local businesses here in Northeast Pennsylvania and local events, doing
yes,
social media management, creating posts on Facebook and Instagram and things like that. And then COVID hit, and then I started offering live streaming courses and live stream producing, and so now that's all that I'm doing right now for the most part. Except I have a few clients that I'm still working with, that I had from before
yes,
then.
yes.
But going forward, that's entirely
It's
what I'm
changed,
focusing on.
right? It's changed. Yes,
It's changed a
exactly.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, same. I haven't really pivoted. I haven't really pivoted, but
Yeah,
I,
but
I used to
e-commerce.
be the
Yeah.
e-commerce queen, but I've actually niched down to the Shopify
Yeah.
queen because I'm all about Shopify and I know everything about e-commerce, right, and business. But I've
Hmm.
niched down to Shopify, and then I thought, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should broaden up again. But you know what? I've decided that's where I want to be,
Yeah.
and I, I didn't as much need to pivot, but concentrate on doing the right things, right?
Hmm.
Instead of trying to do it all, what do you do for your business? Do the right things. Where do you want
Yeah.
to appear? And I'm still trying to decide, okay, so where do I get my customers? Now, how do I get my customers? This is different. I can go to a flea market, what I call flea market, farmer's market, right?
Yeah.
And I can get 3, 4 customers straight away.
Yeah.
I chat to them, get their business card, connect, and help them get online, right?
Yeah.
Now it's just so different. And then you have the competition, right? You had the competition
Yeah.
on social, everybody's doing social.
Hmm.
Everything's moving international because everybody is so used to working with international people. Sorry, Anita,
Yeah.
right? So
It's
she
true.
has clients here in the US as well.
Yeah.
So it's just changed our view of where we're going to get our customers and how we're going to get them, right? And then valuing our time that we're giving to our customers and pricing the
Hmm.
product right, right?
All of it.
All of
All
the
of it.
above.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's all changed so much. It's all
I
changed.
know, I know. I can't wait to see what happens this year and what's going to happen next year and how things are literally changing for us because I think we're going to have more social media platforms coming out. I mean, TikTok
Yeah.
came out, and I always thought, poo,
Yeah,
poo,
and that
poo, I'm
keeps
not doing
growing.
TikTok. Yes, I do. I'm actually
Yeah.
looking at TikTok for Shopify and seeing how to grow a business on there. And
Yeah.
so, but there are new things going to come out, right? Because things are changing so fast.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm going to be in San Diego in a few weeks at Social Media Marketing World. So I'm excited
Yes,
to see what conversations are
yes.
going on over there when it
So
comes to all of this.
you got to report, baby. You got to
I
report because
will.
I'm
I
not going to be
will.
there.
Yes,
It is
definitely.
going to be very interesting, right?
Definitely. And
So
lastly, we can't
mhm,
forget to do
stop
this.
and smell the roses, right? So one
Yes.
advice I got last year was um, to give yourself the gift of time, right? As small business owners, we tend to, oh, we got to do business, we got to, rush, 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 and give yourself the gift of time and enjoy the journey because
Yeah.
the exciting part is the journey, right? Stop and smell the roses, as my husband would say to me, right? Come,
Yeah.
stop your, have office hours, and and have family time. And one thing about a pandemic or whatever it's called these days is that we have all been forced to stop and spend time with our family. Don't you think that's one of the really positive things that have come out of COVID?
For some people, yes.
Well, I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
here I'm saying. I mean, I've seen my family the first time. My baby's from Florida, first time in 7 months this weekend, right? So we couldn't travel because everybody was down with COVID. So there are bad things, right? But we are more appreciative. I'm communicating with my family in South Africa more, my extended family. I'm
Yeah.
communicating with our families in the UK more. People are more used to getting on videos and chatting, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
if you
definitely
think
true.
about your parents, right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Hmm.
before they would go, "What? I've got to talk to you on video." Call me.
No, my mom called me every day before COVID. So
Yeah, I'm one of those moms. Believe me, I'm one of those moms.
you're one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My boys, they had to pick up the phone when they were at college, and it was entertainment for everybody else because the accents changed as soon as they start talking to me.
Yeah.
So yes, you got to stop and smell the roses because this is the time. For instance, really interesting conversation I had with my other daughter-in-law, who's a therapist, and said, when my boys were in college, I decided to give up some of my business stuff to spend more time with them at school because it was all new, right? I'm a VIP baby. I didn't even know what that meant, but spending more time with my boys because I realized once they go to college, they're gone. Then they do their own families and everything. For the little ones, you got to spend a little more time. You have that what? How old are your little ones now?
7 and 10.
7 and 10, right? So if you think about it, in 8 years, your daughter's off to college. Okay,
Yeah.
it's different with daughters, right? Your daughters are off to college, and 8 years go, right?
Yeah.
And so you got to really, this is your bonding time, right? This is when you say, hey, Dad, I need this attention. You go say yes and cancel the meeting, right?
Yep.
Because otherwise you'll have a little one that goes, this is what Mom and Daddy do all day long.
Mm-hmm.
On the phone, and you're right, and talking and writing, right? So you got to think of spending more time with your family is so important.
100%. 100%.
Right?
Yes. So what do you have coming up, Veronica Jeans? Anything exciting?
Exciting.
Yeah.
Actually, no, this week is I think it's going to be quite big. I actually am launching a language center.
A language center?
Language learning center on Shopify, where he's giving courses, audio courses on languages. So like, if you think about Rosetta Stone and Babbel and all this stuff, we're creating something like that for him on Shopify, which is very exciting, something totally different. Yes. So he started with his first course, was Spanish, obviously. Who doesn't start with Spanish, right? He's going to have Portuguese. He's going to have German and a couple of other languages, but very interesting, very, very interesting. So it's something totally different to, hey, I'm selling a product and I've got to be on Shopify.
Wow, that's super cool.
Yes, I know, right? So what have you got going?
Yeah, so tomorrow night at 8:00 on Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer, we have a guest, Josh Tehan. His son is a leukemia survivor. He was diagnosed at age 3. He's now 16.
Wow.
And him and his son are both active with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, which is the organization that I'm active in also with this Man and Woman of the Year event that I'm organizing
up, right? 24
coming
hours.
up. Yes, this event right here, Open Your Hearts and Wallets for Blood Cancer, is a 24-hour fundraiser, March 8th to 9th.
Yes.
So
put the link,
super excited.
Put the link in there, okay, so everybody can know what, usually promote this. So what cancer did you have?
Me?
Yes.
Chronic leukemia.
It was leukemia. Okay, so my daughter-in-law's family, her sister's kids, were also that they were they're the only siblings that they've known that have had leukemia.
Oh, really?
At the same time, yes. And so
both siblings.
Pre-leukemia, right? There's pre-leukemia.
Okay, I've heard of that.
And so so they I mean, they went to what's the hospital?
What hospital?
St. Jude's.
Oh, St. Jude's. Yeah.
Everything was paid for because there was something totally out of the norm. And the third one, they still testing him. So they go back once a year to do their whole testing and knowing if they're okay. But they're all okay now. They've got the treatment and everything. And
Oh,
so
good.
the poor babies, they were all in drips, and it was just for a whole year they were in that hospital.
Wow.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
So
I'm glad
the
they're okay
little one,
though.
I know, right? But it was a village. It took a village to support
Yeah.
them because mom and dad could not mix with each other, right, at the same time, and cross visit the babies.
This was during COVID.
No, this was
No.
before COVID. Thank God.
Oh, before COVID. Okay.
Yes. Thank
Oh my
goodness. Yes, there
goodness.
would have been extra. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, so
Wow.
we have our Monday live coming up again,
Yes.
and we're going to stick to this. This is enough for the time being.
Yes, yes. And Wednesday we have the Tim and Jim show with Adrian Salisbury from ECAM.
Oh, now that's going to be interesting. Yes.
Yes.
I
So
love
make
my
sure to
ECAM.
tune in for that also.
Yes.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
This
was
it.
fun.
We've done. Yes, this was fun.
Yes.
And so, did you put my blog link up? Let me get
Your
my
blog link.
I
Do I have a blog link?
don't think you got a blog link. Let me put
Oh,
my blog
that's why I didn't put it up. Did you send it to me?
I know, right? I know. I mean, I've got 4 blogs on my website, so I've literally created a live. This one's on the news, so I literally created a live blog. I've got a live blog, an e-commerce blog, and a Shopify blog. Did you know you can do that on Shopify?
Now I know.
Yeah, different streams.
10 reasons. Okay, putting it up right now so nobody misses it.
Yes, and please, if you starting a Shopify store, go and check out Shopify Made Easy on Amazon. You will get a hit. I mean, I'm the second person. Somebody else is selling Shopify Made Easy. They pinched it. I actually did complain to Amazon. Did you know that?
I didn't know.
But they're not going to do anything about it. You can't copyright the title, unfortunately.
Oh.
You can, but it has to be unique. It has to, I mean, Shopify own Shopify, right? I can't trademark it or copyright it. Okay, so this is the end.
Yes.
We've done it. Yes,
we've done it. Another episode in the books.
Hit the dust, baby.
Yes, here we go. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Let's dance. Let's dance.